I'll do the first one.
All right.
Really good.
That's
It's a really good one, dude.
You might beat me this time.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yours was on point. So if you're new to the show, the You Should podcast is supposed to be all about trying new things, right? Encouraging people to try new things. So we're going to try a different beverage at the beginning of every show. Today we have the Neon Mirage. This is coming out of Barrel and Stave is the brewery. So we're going to drink this and we'll tell you about it in a little bit.
Sounds good. Welcome to another edition of the You Should podcast. However you're watching or listening, we truly appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our social media platforms at You Should Cast. All right, Mike, who's on tap for tonight?
Today's guest is born and raised in Anaheim, California. He walked the halls of Catella High School and left behind a legacy of loyalty, leadership, and always had a mysteriously perfect tan. It's always been said that when he learned to swim as a child, the water just got out of his way. He played college water polo like Poseidon on a scholarship. He started in a lifeguarding program in his teens because the producers of Baywatch needed some inspiration. When he's not coaching his kids' football and baseball teams, he's on the sidelines with his wife Autumn, cheering louder than the referees would like. He cooks like a pro, camps like a legend, and splits his time between the peaks of Mammoth and the breezes of Hawaii. But most importantly, he's a passionate supporter of the Junior Lifeguard Program, being young ocean warriors with sun, sweat, and just a hint of sarcasm. He's a coach, a chef, a king of the outdoors, and your favorite dad's favorite dad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. Jeff Pratt.
All right, man. We made this happen.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I know, you finishing up school, and now obviously you're in the Junior Lifeguard Program. But since the inception of this podcast, you're like one of the top 3 people I wanted to have on.
Wow.
I think it's an amazing program. My daughters have been in it. There's no one better to talk to than someone that's been in the program for 25 years.
Well, first of all, thanks for that intro. That's
You're
truly
welcome.
amazing.
I mean, that's the one you take to your, that's the obituary right there.
Save it. Save it. Give it to Autumn.
That's
We're set.
your B-roll of
We're
life.
set. So getting started, I mean, it was quite an accident, actually, how I became involved with the program. I had spent 2 years in the towers in the truck lifeguarding. I started when I was 19 years old. And after 2 years, unless something's happening, there's surf and, current that's pumping or waves are pumping, it's just not fun. You're sitting around for 8 hours waiting for something to happen, or 10 hours driving around in a vehicle waiting for something to happen, So I was
and
actually...
you can only look at the talent for so long, right? I mean, eventually.
We won't go there. No, but it just got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to find something else. And a buddy of mine, Graham Harvey, called and he said, hey, what are you doing? And I met Graham through water polo. And he's like, I'm just sitting here. And he's like, hey, have you ever thought about junior guards? And back then that was, excuse me, that was Camp Snoopy, right? You didn't get involved in that. You weren't a lifeguard. You were a babysitter. And so I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. He's like, no, you don't understand. It's just come down for a year. Just come down for 1 year. And if you don't like it, then leave. And ever since, I mean.
So what was it? So, you reluctantly go down there, you see it. And that first year, I mean, was it what you expected, or what was the hook that got you like, man, this is a really cool program?
Well, first it was the people, right? Because it was him and a couple other guys that I knew. So when you have that camaraderie with coworkers, it's an easy, like, okay, I could get into this. And then once you get to know the kids and you get that group and you have all that responsibility, you're like, okay, I got to be, it gets your creativity flowing. You're not just sitting there in the tower waiting for something to happen now. Now you're out with these kids, teaching them about the ocean safety, and getting them in and out of the water and having a good time, and at the same time, you're still lifeguarding. In fact, I probably did more things as far as rescues and first aids and first responder and like cervicals, like, dealing with these people, because you're right there at the water line with the kids, and so you're also still a lifeguard at the same time. So it's the best of both worlds. You got to do lifeguarding while you're on the job, and then while you got the kids. And it's just, watching them and watching them grow and explore the ocean, and you develop relationships not only with them, but the community itself, the parents. It's just a whole new world, truly. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, my daughters did it for 3 years, and when they started, they couldn't swim in the ocean at all and couldn't run. And by the end of the first year, they were doing the monster mile, swimming a mile, running a mile. And it's crazy, 5-6 weeks, that transformation that takes place in these kids.
Oh, it's huge.
And it's got to be so cool as an instructor to see that, because every year, right, you probably get that new batch of kids that come in. And again, they're probably scared to death to go in the water. And then by the end, they're like, we want to do another pier jump.
Oh, 100%. It's always like that. You get that timid at the beginning. And, there's some kids that are, let's rock this. Like they grew up, they live in Newport. They grew up right next to the ocean. They've been in the water since they were like day one, And so for them, it's kind of like, okay, we've been here. But to have them all as a group and just to get them buy into the goal and the expectation and getting out there and basically charging the ocean, it's awesome to watch, truly.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, the Newport Beach Junior Lifeguard Program takes place at the Balboa Pier, which has some of the gnarliest shore break in Newport Beach. I mean, if you're not going to the wedge, that might be, the wedge cylinders, but then that is right there.
Right.
And I would always laugh because on a good south in the summer, I mean, that's like 4 to 6 foot, 3 to 5 foot shore break while you're trying to conduct. I mean, do you guys laugh about that, like as instructors, or that's just kind of how it is?
I mean, if it's the layout of the beach, right? Obviously, you don't want to do it down at the wedge because when it hits, there's nothing to do. You can't do it between, B and G. So the access and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a year they were talking about let's put it down at 15th Street, but then you're at the point, which could just blow up, and so it does sound weird to hey, let's teach the kids about the ocean where there's onshore break and it's breaking right at their feet. But the idea behind that is it actually makes more sense because once you get past that break, it's smooth sailing for the kids, and the south swell, if it hits, it's pumping. You got to get creative and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it is truly the best spot.
Yeah. So one of my questions is, when do you decide if you're in the water, I need to swim out or I need to try to get back in to escape a big wave that's coming? Because I think for novices, there's always that, even growing up my whole life there's always that split second indecisions we all have. How do you manage that?
I mean, there's no timeout. It's like, hey, let's pause this for a second. It does begin with safety, right? So as a lifeguard, you got to know the conditions of the water. So it's not like you wake up and you get down the surf line with your kids and you're like, let's go. Obviously, you're trying to time it, which makes it even easier with the onshore break. But there are those times where you get caught inside. And so you just got to get the kids in. A lot of times we'll have other instructors, safety aides there with the kids, and it takes time to develop that trust. So the first week, obviously, we're not going crazy with the younger kids. The A's, maybe, they're down at Newport Pier. But with the younger kids, you're going to get them acclimated to the water. You're going to get to know, okay, where do they feel comfortable? What's my group like? Are they strong swimmers? Are they needing a little bit more, more work to build up to that? So you don't do that stuff right away. So getting caught inside, it does happen, but it's one of those things where if it is happening, you're already ready for it and the kids are already ready for it. And you just got to get out there, swim towards the wave, which sounds counterproductive, right? Because that's what their kids are afraid of. So that's what they're thinking.
Right.
Like, you want me to go towards the danger. And so you just tell them to get on their horse and charge that wave and just go as deep as you can, grab some sand at the bottom, pull, kick, and shoot out the other side.
Right. My next question is, so you start out the first year, and I'm assuming you're an instructor for one of the groups. And then what are all the different positions that you've had over your 25 years in the program?
So me personally, I'll just go over top down. So we obviously have, it's changed. There's been some turnover as far as battalion chiefs being there and now captains. And I won't bore you with that stuff, but basically what it comes down to is you have your people running the program, the permanents. So you have your captain, and there's also an officer position there as well. And so those are the head honchos of it, along with this support from Cynthia. She's one of the main office people, does an amazing job running this program as far as the logistics and just providing great additional insight. From there, you have a group leader, and the group leaders, there's 4 different divisions. So you have the A, B, C's, and D's. The D's are 9-year-olds. The C's are 10, 11. B's are 12 and 13. And then the A's are 14 and 15. And there's an age cutoff, just like any sport and all that kind of stuff. So,
and then I'm sure you also position kids based on maybe how they swam, or is there like, you're trying to maybe get like individuals together.
Right.
That, how do you guys do that process?
So back in the day, we used to actually have 2 huge competitions on the first couple days, and we kept track of how they finished, and that's how we broke up the groups. And so it was a lot of work. I mean, we're there till 9:00 on a Wednesday night making these groups for all these kids. And you have this year, back then it was 1,200 kids. Now we're up to 1,450. It's grown big time. During COVID, we actually did, June 2020, we had 1,600 kids in the program.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And so now what we do is we do it off their swim time. So to get into junior guards, you got to do that swim trial, and that's 4 laps, and each group has a certain time they have to hit. And then we base the groups based upon that time. And each group will obviously have one instructor, and all those instructors answer to the group leader, and the group leader answers to, obviously it keeps going up rank. So that's how they break it up. It honestly, it works out very well, because it's not, when I was a group leader, it wasn't like I'm the group leader. That's why we're all on one team. We're all on the same level here. There might be times where I have to make a decision you don't necessarily agree with, but I'm also going to look for your input, so we never look at it as,
right.
That kind of ranking. It's a well put together program where everybody knows that your input's valued, and your ideas are welcome and wanted, So when I first started off at the age of 21, it was the instructor, and I was in the C division. So 10, 11-year-olds, which is amazing, because they could do a little bit more than 9-year-olds. They're a little bit more active, especially if they're coming back. They're not as nervous. You can mold them. It's an amazing age, because they're not too cool yet. They're not.
Right. They're not 15-year-olds, is what you're saying.
Exactly. They're not in junior high yet.
Right.
And not that those kids are bad. It's just,
yeah,
they're not going to go along with the whole corny, like whatever,
right.
So it's a great age to work with, in my opinion. It's the best division out there. And so I did that for quite some time. And eventually I moved into the group leader position of the Ds, actually, for a few years, and then to the Cs, which is where I wanted to be, because it's, like I said,
right.
had a great time. I'll take any division, but that's the spot to be, personally. And everybody knows it, too.
Because that was one of my questions. I feel there's got to be that sweet spot of just, and I think you hit it on the head perfectly, of just, they're not brand new, but they're not attitudes yet, right? And you can just kind of do some fun stuff with them.
And it's normal, obviously, right? That age.
Yeah, totally normal.
It's not a big deal. They're still great kids. We still got to have a good time. It's just that's, to me, that was the sweet spot. And you ask other people, they'll say different. But yeah, those are all the positions I've had. Now I'm kind of in an interesting role where we've had a lot of turnover at the top. And so they look at me as part of admin now. So I'm more hands-on, working with we call them blue shorts, because they're full-time and we're red shorts, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I'm still in the other room talking to group leaders and instructors and encouraging them.
Do your coworkers ever call you a suit?
No. But I am the old man.
Yeah. Okay, old man. You're the old guy.
Right.
Yeah. So over 25 years, what have been the biggest changes you've seen?
Oh,
I mean, think about it. You started this did you start in 99 or 2000?
I started lifeguarding in 2000. Okay. And then I went down there in 2001.
Yeah. So over that period of time, how has this program changed?
I mean, that can go so many different directions,
right.
Me personally, I've changed. I mean, you got to remember, I'm hanging out with my buddies, turned 21. Those first 3 years were...
Were you ever like shaking out the cobwebs in the morning session?
Oh. Just in case, like, all the kids were accounted for, everybody came back safe.
Right.
But there was definitely some mornings where you're sweating it out.
Yeah.
You're sweating it out.
I mean, that could be a maybe.
It wasn't too bad. I will say this, I never missed work because of anything like that. My parents always told me, you're going to go out and play, you go to work the next day. Yep. So for me, I would always go no matter what. And I did my job. I'd run up and down. If I was hurting, I was hurting. It is what it is,
Right.
It's not the kids' fault. It's your fault.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine too, like you said, you're with a bunch of coworkers. Everyone might be, a bunch of guys, same age, early 20s, guys and girls. You're in Newport Beach and you're just, hanging out and having fun. Like that's super cool.
Right. So in the beginning, it's a loaded question, because I'm thinking of like, how did the program grow and how did I grow myself within that?
Yeah.
And so in the beginning, it was a lot about me and like what's happening with my buddies and and then eventually it started translating into, wow, when I put more effort into these groups and get these kids more involved, I get more creative, I'm having fun here and after, and so I started growing in that sense, which led me to teaching and all that in the off season, and so the program for me has definitely changed just through my own eyes and my own experiences. But the program itself, I mean, when it first originally started and I wasn't part of this, it was a single wide, trailer just out there on the sand. When I got there, it was a double wide. And then a few years down the road, now we're looking at a triple wide, and you're working out of this trailer right on the sand. And it was amazing. We've had some turnover. The Renee Boyer, who started this thing, I want to say it was 94, maybe 92, 94. I can't remember the actual day. She started it and ran that thing all the way through 2009. And then it was her time. She's ready to step down. And from there, we've had a lot of turnover from the top, which definitely becomes a challenge. And I think right now that's where I'm at that's why I'm where I'm
So
at.
you're trying to keep that continuity and maintain just the overall like program leadership role and just
Right. I'm the most senior person there.
Mhm.
And that's a great thing to be, And so for me, it's more of trying to keep the traditional days, but also realizing you have to also reinvent yourself with change.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of both. And that's actually what I enjoy, is because that balance of finding that is sometimes challenging, but it makes it fun. It's not, okay, another day where, oh, today's day 3, turn the book. Oh, what do
Right.
we do on day 3? Okay, what's going on right now? What's in front of us right now? And so it's been there's years where it's been tough. There's years when it's been, definitely a challenge, but
Right.
but it always works out, and the kids go home every summer wanting to come back the next year, so
That's true.
they don't really see that behind the scenes, and they shouldn't, and it's fine. But it's been great.
So starting in the double wide and then now, and you're brand new. So Mike, yeah, Jeff can talk about that, but did you envision that, man, we go from this double wide on the beach to what you guys have now, a
It's
state-of-the-art brand new facility?
huge facility now, and it took a couple of years to get through as far as building it, but even to put this together, I mean, this has been going on for I don't know how long, like maybe 10 years, maybe more. And it was the Newport Beach Junior Guard Foundation, which was Graham Harvey, the guy who got me down there. He's the president of it, raised millions of dollars here to pay towards the building, and then the city came up with the rest. And this building's facilities, I mean, obviously running water, like, places to store things, not worrying if you have to take the trailer out this year and then it gets delivered the next year, creating a deck on the sand, which I don't know if FEMA really knows we were doing that. And then it wasn't probably whatever.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yes,
It's in the
exactly.
past. It's in the past.
Yes. But to go to this brand new facility, and it's so much more accommodating. It's way more accommodating. And it's a true blessing. And to this day, I mean, we're in our second year in the building, and I'm still saying, oh, meet us at the trailer. And the kids are
Right.
like,
Like, what are you talking about, dude?
trailer? What trailer are we talking about here? So it was pretty funny.
So for those that are listening and just popping in, what is the Newport Beach Junior Lifeguard Program?
So it's a summer program. Okay, that
Just look at him the whole time.
right. It's a summer program where we teach 9 to 15-year-olds. The main thing, number one thing, is ocean safety and awareness. Understanding where you're at, what the surf's like, what the bottom of the ocean, what is it like? Are these onshore? Is this onshore break? Is it break outside further? We teach them ocean safety as a rip current here. So they become familiar with the ocean, and it becomes a place of them feeling safe because they understand the conditions and the environment that they're in. And so we do that. We also teach them lifeguard skills if they want to become a lifeguard down the road. And that's the goal for the most part. But we also understand we got some amazing athletes and they're interested in other things. And so we just ocean proof them as best we can. And we start at the age of 9, and then all the way up through the age of 13, they're down at the Junior Guard building. And then when they're 14 and 15, then we put them up at the Newport Pier, where they have a little bit more of a bigger training session, and they work more on lifeguard skills, and they learn CPR, and they do all these things to prepare them so that when they turn 16, they can become lifeguards themselves.
So you can lifeguard at 16.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a question we had. We didn't know
It's
if
crazy.
you had to be 18 years old to
No.
become a lifeguard.
No, 16 years old. And, you look at, I remember going through training and seeing some of these 16-year-old, and at the time I was 19, and I'm like, who are you pulling out of water? But it's amazing how strong, you are in the water, especially all these guys and girls are swimmers, water polo players. Usually, I'd say vast majority of them, you'll be like, what did you do? And they're like, oh, I did water polo and swimming, it's the same story. And I had the same story myself. And so it's crazy to think at the age of 16, they're going to have full responsibility of being a first responder, doing first aid, CPR, spinal immobilization. Like it's a trip, but the basic lifeguard academy really prepares you. It's a full on, I want to say 3 months every weekend, and there's tests, there's everything, scenarios, simulations, about the entire beach, to the point where as a lifeguard, you can no longer truly sit there and just enjoy the beach on a day off, because your eyes are still going to look like I can't turn my back to the ocean. So they completely ruin the beach for me now. No, on vacations, I'm just kidding. But it's and the type of training that we get is so good, because I can see something real quick just sitting there. I was at Doheny with another family, and a friend of mine talking, and I'm Yes. And I'm just watching these two guys and they're starting to get sucked out. And she's like, you're not listening to me. No, I am. These boys are going to be rescued here in a second.
So
and
then
sure
at that
enough,
point, are you looking like, does he see it? Does he see it? Does he see it?
the guy comes down with his,
and you're like,
his
oh,
paddle
thank
board.
God. Otherwise, you have to go in.
100%, and she's like, how did you see that? And it's like, that's the training we get, and so they prepare us for it. It's pretty amazing.
So it only runs in the summer, I'm getting,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not a year-round thing.
Correct.
So it's a summer camp when kids are out of school. They sign up for junior guards. They get to spend their summer at the beach learning life skills. And it's funded, the kids are paying to go here. So
Correct.
it's a self-funded program.
Right.
And you guys are lifeguards employed by the state?
City of Newport Beach.
Okay. All right. And so is there another junior guards program? Like where's the next closest junior guards program?
You got one just, what do you want to say, north or west of us at Huntington State. Huntington City also has a program.
Okay.
You get up to Bolsa Chica. It's just all
So
the
it's
way
a common,
yes.
it's a common thing for municipalities each to have their own junior guard program.
Yeah, all the way up to Santa Cruz and other states on the East Coast.
Okay.
You also have Hawaii that's starting to get programs involved with their kids as well.
Gotcha.
And then all the way down to San Diego.
Okay.
So,
And I think one of the events you always love going to is about halfway through the junior guard season up in Santa Barbara.
Oh, amazing.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So that's the Santa Barbara Fiesta. And that was introduced to us with Rini back in, oh my goodness, maybe 2007. Let's just say that, right? We also have regionals, which I'll talk about in a second as well. But Santa Barbara is a relaxing, chill competition day where you do run, swim, runs, long distance paddles, long distance swims, long distance runs, run, swim, runs.
Totally chill, Mike.
Sounds super chill.
But what I'm saying
We
is
did a 7-mile swim.
Right.
Super easy.
Competitive swim.
correct.
Competitive.
But for us, we go up there, up to God's country, and we tell the kids, we just want you to do them and have a good time.
Yeah.
Just whatever event, just go do it.
And I'm sure that's probably the vibe, right? Of all the
100%.
different programs that get down there, it's really
100%.
just...
So it's the different junior lifeguard programs competing against each other.
Yes, in that Santa Barbara area.
Gotcha.
So you'll have like Carpinteria comes up there right next door to them, and you have other local beaches there that join in. So there's about, I don't know, maybe seven different beaches around, and we're the ones that come the furthest, and so they always appreciate when we come up there. And
But do you think they're like these little Newport Beach, like, pretty boys and girls? We're just going to school them. Do you think there's got to be a little bit of that?
Okay.
I feel like there's that Central Coast, like, mentality versus SoCal. Or no, do you not really pick up on that?
I don't, if it is happening, I don't see it. I don't listen to it. I'll be honest with you. We develop such a good relationship with other agencies because that's what we want. We want to be welcomed back the next year.
Yeah.
You're always going to have somebody who has an attitude about something.
Yep.
Right. I just ignore that noise. I'm just focused there to have a good time with the kids. And we have such a good relationship with Santa Barbara. It's phenomenal. We used to do an exchange, and after COVID kind of ruined that, where some of our kids would go up the day before and we'd join their program. And then the next day they would compete. And then when we had regionals in our area, they'd come down Newport, and we started that, and we kind of got away from it. But that's something I definitely want to work on the next year or two, if possible, because it's just such a good.
Right.
Why not? And you share our different ideas, and the whole idea of our program is, I'll be biased. I think we're the best, 100%. I really do. I think what we provide the kids and the environment that they have to train in is pretty phenomenal. But I'm always willing to learn from other beaches as well, because that's how you grow. Being creative and whatnot. But, I really do think, we're the best in the state, 100%.
So for parents that are listening, and I feel like sometimes if you're not living on the coast and your kids haven't grown up in the water, there is a little bit of fear of the ocean. And if my kid has never been in the ocean and I pass the swim test and I'm going to put them where they're going to be going into surf, swimming around the pier, jumping off the pier, doing all these things, and maybe the parent, have some apprehension. What advice would you give them to say, hey, you know what? This is an amazing program. Take that step and sign your kid up.
Right. It's interesting because the first day of the program, which we just got done with on Tuesday, to yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm so tired from.
I know,
2
this
days
is
in.
amazing. And we are
2
getting
days
you
in.
right in the thick of it.
So just yesterday, I do a little bit at the end and joke around with the parents, and I let them know, hey, it's time. It's time to let them go. Cut that cord. We own them for the next 3 hours. They're our property. And I say that with confidence because, every year with the training that we provide our new guys and the mentors as they come back, even for them to hear it, even for me to hear it 24 years in, it's just reassuring ourselves and understanding like what we're doing here. And we provide such a strong education, not only to ourselves, but just the training, of how to manage in this environment is the key to that success of having kids return back with no injuries or come back every year. And so what I would say to a parent is understand that this environment is dangerous. You have to respect it. The whole sharks or waves or what if I jump off the pier? And it's like, yeah, it's a gnarly environment, but look at what we do and look at how long we've been doing it for. It's not our first rodeo,
Right.
And I have 2 kids in the program. You had 2 kids in the program. That's always in the back of my head. It is. But I also recall like, okay, what are we doing this for? Why are we doing it? And if we're teaching them the correct things, everything's going to be great. You're going to get injuries here and there, just like sports, right? Why play sports? You get injured riding your bike, but kids still ride their bikes.
Yeah, I mean, we know someone that dislocated their shoulder body surfing a 1-foot wave. So you really, I mean, Mike, half a foot. You know what? I stand corrected. Mark Weiss, half a foot. So Jeff Pratt,
a 6-inch drop.
Just so you know, I said 1 foot. He said a half a foot.
Yes.
No love. No love.
He knows.
He knows. He definitely knows.
Yes. He had a full separation. We won't go there. We won't go there.
The funniest thing about this whole story is, so Mark, right? He's a friend of the podcast. So this happens to him and he's sitting on the back of a lifeguard truck. And Stella, it's like right at the end of the day too, right? So Junior Guards is just over and Stella's walking up to him and she's like, he's just like, as soon as she walked by, he's like, oh, hi Stella. Hi Stella. How was your day today? I'm like, dude, the guy, that's how solid Weiss is, and then she was just like, oh my God, like he was in so much pain.
Oh, he was
like, he really was.
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
That was, and that honestly.
So, okay. So you being the sarcasm level on that, do you even say, hey, you know what? I can't go up at this time and say you did this to yourself on a half-foot wave?
No.
Or do you just get it in?
At that moment, it's not the time.
So for you to dial that back
it's the training. I think it's the training.
I will tell you, it's the training. And trust me, it was spinning up here. I was ready. Yeah. I had quite a few of them. But when I saw the look on his face and I saw that bone pop up,
empathy took over.
I was like, so I'm going to save it for
That's a good point.
So to me, I was laughing at that. But when I saw the pain and legit, I was like, okay. And he was on the back of the truck. Now I do have photos and stuff, but I'm not going to show. But
right. So he obviously being a fire captain, he knew I don't want this.
He already felt embarrassed, like he was like just so stupid. I'm like, dude, it's fine.
Right.
Like don't worry about it. We're going to make fun of you later for sure.
Well, I think that's a good example of injuries can happen at any time.
For sure.
And even someone like Mark, who's, 40 years growing up in Huntington Beach and been to the beach a million times. And even a small wave like that, you can still get hurt.
Right. Anything, driving to Junior Guards, you guys you can get hurt. Now, that's not where I make the conversation go.
Yeah.
But I just reassure them, like, look, it is that environment. You're always taking a chance. But we have so many great junior lifeguard instructors and group leaders and from the top down that we're going to prevent everything we can, just like a seatbelt does when you drive in your car, and we'll teach them the correct way to enter the exit the water so that, we prevent these things. And I mean, that's all you can do. And knock on wood, we have a great record. We're batting 1,000. And I'm hoping that obviously every year parents realize that and we keep signing them up. And now they're looking at it is we're at the point, and this might be jumping into a question later on, but their parents did the program.
Damn.
So, if I did the program and you're doing the program, just like if you play baseball, your son's playing baseball. And so the crazy thing about it is a lot of these kids, like, you mentioned, I don't even know what this program is, but you live 25 minutes from the beach,
right?
Not during rush hour, but 25 minutes from the beach. And not a lot of people still know about the program inland past the 73 and the 405. It's so true.
It's such a great point, Jeff. I feel like, you go past the 405 there and people are like, right, what is that?
Right. I'll be honest. I didn't know about Junior Guards until I was much older in high school, because when I would go to the beach, for me, it was more of okay, I got swimming and water polo during the summers, and you went to the beach with your friends, you did bonfires, you go out body surfing, up, down Huntington, Newport, West Newport. West Newport, you got to, your age, you graduate each
Totally.
streets,
Yeah.
so you start off down in the 20s, 30s, and you graduate up as you get older.
Yep.
And so that's how it was, and it wasn't until I had, friends in high school that were still A's. And I was like, what is that? And then they become cadets. And we don't have cadets anymore, but we used to have cadets, which are after A's between lifeguarding, that little age period where you're not old enough yet. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh, we just do it. I'm like, so like you pretend like you're David House Hasselhoff and you're going into the water. I'm all rad, dude. You're cool.
Yeah.
And so
I want to be part of that.
Right. And so, which is the irony now looking back at this, I've been doing this for more than half my life, and I was making fun of those kids back in the day.
Right.
And now I see the value of what they did. And I know for sure one of them in Huntington became a full-time lifeguard through there. And I think his name is Matt. I don't know. It was like a long time ago, but it's amazing where life takes you. And I'll tell you another thing with this program, the like I talked about before, the community that develops. You meet so many different people, so many different backgrounds. I mean, I had Junior Guard in my group, and they moved to Maryland. They invited us out to Maryland. We go out and visit them. There's just job opportunities for people because it's amazing. It's a big family, truly. And especially in the city of Newport, which again, growing up, I thought it was Newport only, but it's open up to anyone. We have people from Texas that are in our program.
Wow,
it's truly amazing. But you realize the sense of community that it gives you and the opportunity, and it's now a rite of passage, especially if you did it. So, I have Graham; his kids are in it. I've had junior guards who became lifeguards who were my instructors.
wow,
and they're just like making me feel older and older every single year because of that.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how much that influences people. The fact that some of them are coming back, and now they have kids that are in the program, and it just keeps turning. And everywhere you go, you'll see stickers. You see the big X. You're up in Mammoth, you're skiing.
Right.
There's X. You're in Utah skiing. There's the big X. And it's a sticker, and I'll show you later, but that we have for the Junior program. They put it on their car, and it's a sign of like.
Well, no, and you're so right, because my daughters did it 11, 12, and 13. So 3 years. And now they're 15. When they go to the beach, they always bring their Junior Guard towel and their backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we still have a couple of Junior Guard t-shirts that they wear. So again, to them, like, it's cool. It was so cool. Even though sometimes they didn't want to admit it at the time. It's such a cool program that they want to go to the beach and they want to be identified. Like, hey, you know what? I did this program.
But why is it cool at the beach? But like you said, it's not cool. Like,
Well, you just don't know about it. So if you don't know about it, you don't know what it's about, and you can't be a part of it, just like any kid, well, then it's not cool. That's what it comes down to.
My kid kind of went through the same thing in scouting, right? So he was in high school and he was finishing up his scouting journey, on his way to Eagle. But yeah, there was a couple of years where it was like, he doesn't tell anybody. I'm not in scouts.
Right.
Like that was not a part of his social clique, because the stigma, that's not cool, or that, that's
I think Junior Guards has the opposite. It has a cool factor.
Does it?
Because you're hanging out at the beach all summer.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I've told Mike
I could spin it, but I would assume that I would assume the kids would too. Like,
no, it's cool. Like it is a super cool program. And, I've told both you guys this, but before they were born, the only two things I was going to force my kids, legitimately, whether they were boys or girls, was do Junior Guards and learn how to snowboard. That was it. Right. And so the Junior Guards thing, I mean, I was telling Mike before you got here, they were freaking out to do the swim test. I mean, I have never seen them freak out like this in my life. Dad, this is your dream. You want us to do this. And I actually said, I'm like, yeah, you're right. This is mine. I am forcing you to do this. And then they go, they pass the swim test. And after that year, they loved it. Right. And then they go back 2 years after that. And Bella, one of my daughters, wants to keep doing it, but she's like, Dad, I just don't want to do the A stuff, but I love the program. Right. And so again, I think what's so great about that is they were challenged. They were pushed. You see these kids every day. You are pushed out of your comfort zone. More times than not, they would do it. Right. Like the pier jumps. I remember Jeff had both my daughters on the pier and Bella did not want to jump. Jeff took time. And you spent a couple minutes and she jumped. Right. And so that, again, it's so cool. You probably seen this over and over and over again, right? Having kids kind of overcome those big fears. And then you're like, wow, how cool is that?
Right. And it carries on to other aspects of their life. It's just that sense of they have that wall in life, whatever it is. Obviously at our age, the wall's different, right? For them at that point, when they get that mindset of I can push through this, that mindset continues on with them, and they're going to continue that for hopefully forever, right? Until the next wall comes and they got to push through that one. And so, you know, that's the fun part for me, truly, is well, first of all, working with instructors now, you know, because I'm the old man.
Right. That's got to be cool.
It is.
Like seeing young kids come up, right? And you have kids that have probably been there, not kids, right? You have adults that have been there 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, probably 20 years now, right? All throughout. And just to see their development within the program.
It's a trip, to be honest. It does, I've said it already, it does age me a little bit, but to just see some, like the two instructors I can remember were in the same group that I had when they were junior guards, you know, and then they're both one of my instructors in the C division. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me, you know? And then
at that time, like if you kind of look back, I don't know if you can remember them or not. Did you see something like these little fools could actually be like badass?
Would you have picked these two to be in the positions they're in now? Did they stand out in any way?
100%. You know, because the way they put the kids, you know, is based upon swim time. So they're going to put faster kids together and then just go down from there, you know, and group them. And that actually is great for safety reasons, because now you have them all in the same capability. And now it's just fighting through the whole fear of going into the ocean for some of them. They're great pool swimmers, but the ocean's not the pool.
Right.
And so they were one of the top groups. And I think I was 25 at the time when I had them. And it was one of those times where, okay, I'm now focused more on the group than the extracurricular outside of the program. And they were machines out there. They were just beasts in the water.
Yeah.
And again, same background, water polo, swimming. Yeah. You never see if they're going to, they could be a lifeguard. You know, like, they're going to be, you never do that, because life's going to take them everywhere, you know? And so the fact that they're lifeguards, not surprising. The fact that I was still around.
Surprising.
First they were in my group, and now I'm in charge of them as a group leader. I mean, it's truly amazing, because now I try to help them not only in the program, but beyond that. Right. You know, like, okay, what job? Okay, how are you going to interview? Let's talk about this.
Right.
And just trying to teach them, they're young adults now, full grown, like how to get into that world of a job, a career. And it's very rewarding, you know, because I was done with the group kids, my creativity. Okay, I've done it. So when I became a group leader, it was now about my instructors more than it was the kids in terms of like mentoring. And so, and now I'm at that point now where I think the time's coming to kind of maybe hang up, you know, the board shorts. But
so this has got to be pretty special though, because you do know the end is, you can see it. Mm-hmm. And do you really kind of, appreciate like now saying, man, I have done this for 25 years, you know, the end is there. Like, do you think you appreciate it more?
I haven't had time to. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like it was interesting you say that, because during training on Monday, it was weird. They started playing old videos because we have a videographer that captures the summer for the kids. And so you start watching these videos. I'm like, what year is that? I'm like, oh, wait, what is it? Right. Oh, that was last year. I'm like, oh my God, it all blends in. All 24 years blend in for the most part. But just to go down in memory lane, and they're like, oh, this is from 2015. I'm like, oh, that was just yesterday. Oh my God, that was 10 years ago. Oh my God. Like, that's the thing is I start seeing it, and I start realizing, wow, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, we always joke about it, but I mean,
but a quarter century, that's a long time.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I haven't known my wife that long.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's been more than half my life, and they all blend together. Some of them are a little bit blurry on the early years, but it's all my jobs have a beginning and an end. So my teaching job, beginning of the school year, end of the school year. Lifeguarding, Junior Guard Program, beginning and end. So I don't ever have time just to stop and think, because I'm jumping into the next thing a week later.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had time to sit back and think
and just kind of take it in as a whole.
Right. And think about all the people that I met, that I've known, and I'm still friends with today. You know, that there was a guy today, Greg Roberts, stopped by. He was my group leader. He was my mentor. Amazing guy, you know, and he taught me a lot about this job and just life in general as well. And just see him come in and talk to the group, and only one other person knows who this guy is. Yeah. And he's the one that started the Monster Mile. Oh. Yeah. We'll talk about that for sure.
Wow.
And for them, when I said that, they're like, at first they're like, who is this guy? You know, and like, he's talking to him. It's great to see the program. You know, I love the fact that we're continuing this. And he gets to the end, I'm like, hey guys, he's the one that created the Monster Mile. They're like, what? You know, and so it just, I haven't had that time yet. And talking to him today, he's like, I love that you're still doing this, you know, and he's like, it was about 25 years where I realized I needed to step away, because I figured I've done everything I can.
Right.
And so I'm kind of feeling that point.
Yeah, you don't want to get to a point where you're just going through the motions
Right.
and like punching in and punching out, right?
Otherwise, you're the Aaron Rodgers of the
Yeah,
junior
and nobody wants to be that at all.
Exactly.
0%. So, Mike, how's that beer? What do you think?
I like this. This is my wheelhouse. So fruity, balanced.
I agree.
Yeah. Easy drinking. We're not beer connoisseurs by any stretch.
Wait, we?
We not we don't have the palate like to pick out like some other people
Correct.
would.
Yeah.
So I think we need to change how we talk about beers, right? I think we just need to rate it 1 to 10. And that's based on your personal preference.
Yes.
But here's the deal. If you're going to rate something between 1 and 10, you can't rate it a 7. Because that's always like, oh, it's good. I rated a 7. So everything by default comes a 7. So if I take away 7 as an option.
So what do you think of that, Jeff? And I think that's a great point that Mike brings up is the 7 the default of just kind of like the C? It's a C.
It's better than average.
Right.
It's a C. It's not.
Well, who's the pizza guy? Dave, is it?
Yeah, Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. So, I mean, his best pizzas are what? An 8 point something. Where
Yeah, I mean, that's like a massive score.
So, I mean, you guys, you can go with what you need, but I mean, it is kind of hard because there's going to be a beer you're like, this is crap. You're not going to like it.
I think it has to either be a 6 or it has to be.
I mean, Mike, I was going to say this is a 7 to Jeff's point. I'm going to go 7.4.
No. Is it a 6 or is it an 8?
All right. So I'm going to go with your thing.
Whole numbers.
I would recommend this all day long. Buy this beer. It's super good. You're not going to be disappointed.
Is it a 6 or an 8? Everything will fall in the 7 category with everything in life. If you removed 7 from the scale, it's either a 6 or an 8.
Dude, my wife's a 9.5, so I disagree with that.
Life's good. Well, then the 7 doesn't play here. So is it a 6 or an 8?
I mean, if we're going to go on that, I'd have to bump it up.
Yeah, me too.
Because
I would say it was an 8.
You go
I would
8,
agree.
and we'll just kind of...
Because everything's a 7 point something. Then it doesn't matter. That's my thing. It's either going to be good, you should go buy this.
But then I think we're going to do this. We're going to default to just 8 because nothing's going to be a 6.
I don't agree. We've had quite a few that were a 6. Again, would I buy this and drink it again? Yes.
Yeah.
Would I recommend this to other people to try? Yeah,
100%.
I would. I think it's that good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And I think that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Right.
Trying something new.
Correct.
Do I like it enough to recommend? Yes.
Yeah.
It's an 8.
I'm with you.
If it's a 9 or a 10, stop what you're doing and go find it while you can.
Yeah. So one of I think the cool days of the Junior Lifeguard Program is the pier jump.
Like the pinnacle? Like, is that like a big?
It's not the pinnacle, but it's. I would say it's a top 3 or 4.
Oh, for non-big events such as
Monster Mile
and stuff like that, it's the number one thing. And
so what I think's great about this event, and then we'll let Jeff explain the intricacies of it, is Jeff's like, you know what? If we announce that, we're going to get 1,000 parents on the pier and they're all going to be yelling at their kids, this, and that. So run us through your attempt as a team and group to keep that under wraps as much as you can, and then why you do that and the benefit that actually has.
Right. So as a group leader, they're the ones who decide the day, right? So when I was in that position, I did the best I could to not even tell the instructors, sometimes till even they got outside and I'm like ruining their day.
And when did you know you were going to do it? Was it the morning of? Conditions are good, it's maybe 1 to 2 feet. Let's go, let's do it. Or...
So it's always important to look at the surf, right? So if I know I'm going to have, 2 weeks of huge surf, okay, obviously we've got to do it right after this is over because the program's only 7 weeks long. There's, I should have mentioned, there's 2 sessions. There's an AM session and a PM session.
Oh, yeah.
And you can only do one. So the AM's from 9 to 12 and then PM's 1 to 4.
Oh, that's short. Okay.
Right. So it's short, but it's a long 3 hours in the sun.
For sure.
For sure. But you got to be very thoughtful of when you want to do it. We actually had somebody, they want to do it on day 1. I was like, you don't even know what they're capable of.
Wow.
He's all, but it'd be all the time. And I'm like, I agree. But everything you do down there, you want to do with a purpose. And the purpose of that is to break a record. Wait till you're retiring to do that, And so the idea is to look at the conditions, see what other things you have coming up, because you have so much on the calendar in these 7 weeks. You have field trips to other parts of the beach that we do because we want to introduce the kids to different parts of Newport as well. You have picture day. You have all these other events. You have competition day. So every Thursday is a competition day, and the kids compete, and we give an award for the high point winner. So usually for me, the first time I see that, where it's going to look like Lake Balboa, we're going that week. I just want to get it in, get it done. Usually you don't want to save it towards the end, because if you have some of those surfs, some of the big waves coming in and the surf's real big, you're going to miss it. And,
So out of the 7 weeks, where in the range was the sweet spot to fall? Like, you don't want to do it too early because kids are still getting.
well, I don't want to give away too much in case, somebody in the program watches this. For me personally, as a group leader, for me, it was really dependent upon the surf and the timing of the summer, So if we're in week 2 and I see that the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty solid,
Oh, that early? Okay.
I'll probably do week 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You want to first, for the young kids, you want to make sure that they can even swim out that far, and you want to build up their confidence. So I try to stay away from the first 2 weeks. And then after that, then it comes down to the conditions. You want the Lake Balboa. It's perfect. There's no waves. It's so much easier to manage. And then keeping it away from the parents is challenging because sometimes you have instructors who have friends and sisters,
or you have a wife that may text.
You have 7 families texting.
Don't tell Jeff. Don't tell Jeff.
Exactly.
I'm sending this to you.
So it's letting them understand the situation, right? So in their minds, you get a different range. You get the parents that are just like, I just want you to try your best. If you can do it, great. If not, no biggie. You get the other ones, well, I did it, so you have to do it. We've had so many people like, I'll buy you this. I've been offered money. I've been told, just push him off. I'm like, well, that's not happening, but it's pretty entertaining. To me personally, I could care less about it. Like, I'm not a big, like, yes, let's jump off the pier. I've done it multiple times. I'm good, and we even have instructors that feel that way, but to them, it's such a big thing. And I think the real reason why is because a long time ago, they only did it once, and it was the entire program doing it. It wasn't like the A's are going today and the C's are going today. And somehow down the road, we made it to where C's only today. Like, okay. But we used to do it for the whole entire. So you would have all the parents from every division up on the pier because word of mouth, the phones start ringing and it's telephone right away, especially in the morning because morning usually is more Newport parents. And it's such a tight community. I mean, once it starts with one, it's exponentially just grows real quick. So now we do it by division. We try to be sneaky about it. Well, there's been times where I've done it only in the afternoon so that they show up and they don't think it's happening. And then the AM comes back next day, what the, and it's like, gotcha. But then now you have those parents showing up too because they know it's going to happen that day.
Right.
And then there's been times where I didn't do it that day and then I waited. But now they're going to show up every single time, And I've never done it the opposite way, and I'll tell you why. Because if the morning does it, and then I say no for the afternoon, I might have some parents that took off work to come down early. So I don't want to burn them.
Right.
So, but it's a huge thing because you're jumping off the pier.
I mean, it's legit. What is that, 25 feet?
I would say about 20 feet. It's
depending
on the tide,
it's a legit jump.
Right.
So is it like, can I go to the pier and jump off the pier?
You can.
It's legal.
And then you'll be fined about $1,000.
Okay, so it
Right.
is not legal.
They'll have to pull you out, right? They'll have to do a
So for the
rescue.
record, not legal.
Not legal.
Okay.
Not legal.
So this is not a once in a lifetime thing, but like doesn't really get to happen very often.
Right.
Yeah.
Not outside. Well, I shouldn't say
Outside of
that.
the program.
It shouldn't happen if you're outside the program or not a lifeguard on duty.
Okay.
Right. But it obviously does. Right. And so for the kids, it's so big, and you have so many kids that are afraid of heights. They don't want to do this. Like, how am I going to land? They see a kid hop off and they fall to the side and they smack their side, and it's just like, and the kids see that and they're like, I don't want to do this. We've had instructors, go off the railing, they clip their foot, they fall funny, and it's just, and for me, it's just, let's keep this relaxed, so I don't mind if parents are there. You're over here. Like, you stay here. We kind of like section off the area where they can stand, and they've gotten a lot better about it, and I think it's because we're not doing it with the whole entire, junior guard.
Right.
All the ages. That's just a nightmare. And now that we do it age group by age group, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I remember one of the times I went, there was a dad chirping at his kid. So the kids walk up, they get single file, they come up, Jeff tells them what to do. I want you to look here, step off, right? Kind of goes through the whole thing. And the kid just didn't want to do it. The dad keeps chirping at him. The kid starts crying, right? Yeah. And it was just one of those situations, right, where I think maybe if the parent wasn't right there and the kid could just focus on what you were telling him to do, hey, this is what I need to do to execute. But then you have like the parent in the background just squawking.
Nothing worse.
Yes. It's just like sports, right? You have the parents that
totally
extreme down to the, I don't even care, And so I just try to be that supportive person for them up there. And so do the instructors. We all just try to say, hey, if you want to do it.
Right.
Like, if your mom, dad's upset with you later on, that's their problem. That's not yours. Let them carry that stress. You're an awesome kid, and next time. Because again, to me, it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
well, like my girls have done it a couple times. I think one time they didn't do it. Stella was just like, I'm good. Like I think it was the last year. She's like, you know what? I've done 3 of these, and she was just kind of like this matter of fact, like,
Right.
okay,
Right. It's
like,
it's
I'm
just
good.
it's just the history of it being built up so much, and they'll all show up on the pier. It's hilarious. It's the greatest thing ever.
What's the percentage of success rate? If you took 100 kids out there to do the pier jump, how many of them are pulling it off?
It's a good question. I would say it depends on age group. So the D's, it's going to be it's going to be lower. I would say if you have 15 out of 20 kids, we'll probably do it per group.
Oh, wow.
Because it's far out.
Where's
they
the
just
other
don't
thing?
swim back.
They don't
Well, no,
swim
think
back.
about it, Mike. How many kids are in a group? 15, 20 kids?
It depends on the age.
So if you
we're
have
trying to
15
18,
kids,
right?
let's say 18, and you jump first, you could be treading water, waiting for your group for
they
20
all
minutes.
swim back together.
They also
Together,
they
yeah.
jump in, swim to a
Oh.
paddleboard, hang on that paddleboard,
Oh.
and then swim in together.
So that's why they're like, hey, just jump. We don't need you
Right.
standing up there for,
Right,
10
so
minutes.
It's the iffy kid that's like,
Right. So
I don't know.
depending on what group they're in, it could be, a good percentage or a lower one. But even in the B's, this time, I think what Stella you said, it was it happens. But it's just not a big deal anymore.
Gotcha.
And I think the fact that we give them multiple opportunities, especially with the C's and the B's,
Right.
the D's, they just try to do it once, maybe twice, because it's so dramatic for them at 9 years old, and they're 9 feet tall. They're falling like 60 feet in their head.
Right.
So I just don't want that for them, and neither does the group leader who I work with, great guy. He's like, yeah, let's just try it once, maybe twice. Where C's we'll do it a couple times, and then the B's will do it like maybe 5 times if they want to. But the longer you do it, the more the longer you're driving on the road,
Right.
you're more likely to get an accident, right? So we just like, okay, let's pump the brakes here. Like 3's great. We don't need. Where the A's will do it almost every week, which is important because you have to do that to become a lifeguard.
Right.
You can't just stand there and be like, I don't like heights. Because there was actually a time where I was working at Tower 22, and I had a rescue that I was going to go on because there's 3 boogie boarders out at the end of the pier, couldn't get back in. And as I get out of the tower, I run down there, and then on the loudspeaker, they're like, okay, come back, you're good. But I was going to have to jump off that and make that rescue and pull them in. And eventually the current started pushing them in more and more and more. But
yeah. So out of the 25 years, have you ever accidentally nudged a kid in?
never.
Never, really?
Never.
So wait, Jeff Pratt
Never.
is saying never.
I've almost had a kid fall like gnarly because they got super nervous and their legs gave out and they were just falling to the ground. I had to grab them as they were like falling over and pull them back.
Yeah.
I said, "You're done."
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tears coming down.
And do you guys speak to the kids who weren't comfortable and couldn't make the jump? Like you speak into them, like there's another chance, like it's okay, like you're not a failure. Right. Like I got to imagine there's all kinds of emotions going when, they had a good intentions and then they got up to the edge and they're like, nope, not going to do it.
Right. Well, at that age, it's what their friends are they feel like their friends are going to make fun of them, or mom, dad's mad at them. And it's crazy. I personally, I just tell them, look, I don't even like doing this. I really don't. I'm over it. Like I've done it 100 times. Like it's not a big deal. It's not a requirement. You didn't do it this year. If you want to try it next year, let's go for it next year.
Yeah. Well, I saw you jump one time and you were more like, oh man, like just the body.
It's
like the body. It had nothing to do with like, oh my, it was just the body hitting the water and all that. It was more
you
that.
You gotta land right, especially as you get older. You gotta land right. Otherwise it's going to be a memory. You know what I mean? I just never been a big fan of like, it's just not my thing. But the irony there is there's, I remember going Ladder Rock and jumping off that thing as a kid. Or when we went to, in high school, we went to a water polo tournament in Hawaii and going to Waimea and, jumping off that little rock structure over there to the left and stuff. So, but I don't know. I was just like, whatever. We've done this. We've done this.
How does it work with people fishing on the pier? I always wondered.
So we do have to ruin people's day. And we have this like little group of old schoolers that we'll call them from Balboa that come over with their cart and fish. They hate us. They absolutely hate us. So like, how long are you going to take today? But most people are really cool about it. And we just say, hey, can you pull in your lines? We're going to just do this and we'll get out of your way as soon as we can. We appreciate it. You could even go further down. So for the most part, it's pretty chill, but you do have a couple people that you're just like, they're just grumpy. Yeah. It doesn't matter what's going on.
Do you have to like close one side for fishing?
Essentially, yes, just in that general area. So like there's a good, if they're a good, 20, 30 yards down, fine, cast out there. But if you're, ahead of us and your lure is going to float a little bit down the way and a kid's you're going to catch a junior
Right.
guard. Yeah, we'll pull them up, please.
And the swim back isn't an issue with the lines in the water?
No, because we have them swim out to the paddleboard and they go out far enough to where they're not casting out that far.
Gotcha.
If you're casting out that far, you shouldn't be on the pier.
I got you.
You know what I mean? There's something wrong with you.
It's one of the fears I have. Like, I don't have a whole lot of
To get
fears.
caught up in a line?
Dude, to get a fishing hook caught in you for some reason, like, that just kind of irks me to my core
Yeah, I
for
gotcha.
some reason.
You ready for this one?
Oh, no. Probably not.
We had a junior guard walking out of the water, and all of a sudden he's like, "Whoa!" And something's hooked on his leg. He's like, "What's going on here?" He has a lure about that big on his leg, and attached to it is like a tuna hook. It's huge, huge, and it's in his leg. So we had to ship this guy up to Hogue, and he's in the back seat, and we're driving. And he's starting to like just go into shock.
Yeah,
And so we start talking hockey. I'm like, "What kind of fan are you?" He's like, "I like the Ducks." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yep.
I'm
Get
like,
out of the car right now.
yeah,
You're walking.
That's what I
You're
said.
walking
I'm like,
up.
dude, if you don't change your, your team right now, you're going to be walking there. And anyways, so we get there. And go Kings go, by the way. And we get to a Hogue, and they said it's the biggest hook they've ever taken out of someone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like that is super close to his bone, his shin bone.
Wow.
And so they had to cut it they had to call the fire truck over because they needed bolt cutters. So they cut and then they push it through. And the kid was a stud. He did such a good job.
That's cool.
His mom sent us a picture of him holding the hook together, let him keep it. And that's the craziest thing I've seen as far as fishing.
So somebody that's listening, and what is a typical junior guard's day like?
So they, depending on your session, right? So you're either showing up at 9 or 1. You meet in front of the trailer, or excuse me, the building. You meet in front of the building now.
State-of-the-art building.
State-of-the-art. It's nice. Graham and them, they did a phenomenal job. And so the kids sit in front. We do morning announcements. We tell them about big things, big events that are coming up that week or the following week, to let them know what's going on and to let the parents know. And from there, we dismiss them to their groups. So they get to their group. Group tells them, same thing, what's going on today, what we're doing. And we try to break it up so that you start off with a nice stretch, and get that going, get their blood pumping, wake them up, especially in the AM, right? Because in the AM, you got what? You got the overcast skies, June gloom, although it's been beautiful this week, I will tell you right now.
Nice.
It's been amazing. So I don't know what's going on.
That is amazing.
But hopefully it keeps rolling like that. And so after the stretches, then we try to break it up into, you'll have a physical activity that really gets their blood pumping. And then you want some type of teaching, moment. You're always looking for those teaching moments. So if you're running around, you see rip current. Okay, hey guys, sit down. What do we see? Okay, what does it do? And you're reinforcing that ocean safety, ocean awareness. Then you have that lesson plan where it might be, okay, we're going to show you inside of a tower, so we'll do a tower orientation, or we'll do unit orientation, or first aid orientation.
So this is now where you're getting into actually lifeguarding, being a lifeguard, teaching, right? The actual skills.
Right. What we actually do. We tell them, hey, this is what we do. This is how it works. And we're hoping to encourage that future lifeguard down the road, After that, we'll do a break, give them time to reapply their sunscreen, get a snack, drink water, just have that rest. And during that time, instructors are with their group trying to get that group dynamic going. So they're getting to know their kids' names, they're joking around with them, they're finding out what their instructor likes, doesn't like, and they're getting to know the kids so well. And after that, you want to try to incorporate maybe both, So if you just did a tower orientation, okay, hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start at the tower. You're gonna run down the water and do a little rescue, come back up, or swim around the instructor to symbolize you exiting the water with the buoy and your fins. And you want to try to incorporate what you taught with a physical activity, and then after that, you head back down to where your flag is and your backpack, and you do a final roll. They review the day, and they possibly talk about what's happening the next day and also big events, So the idea is the more that you change up your day and you keep the kids moving, the better off it's going to be. And I always tell instructors, I'd rather you plan more than less, because then you're going to be sitting there staring around with 20 minutes left. What do we do? And the easiest thing is, let's go down the water, because that's when injuries happen.
Yeah. Well, that's what the girls would say, right? That free water time, right? Like, let's just go down and just kind of, mess around in the surf.
Right. And that's where we get a little bit injuries here and there, because they're all piled up on each other. They're all doing the same crazy things. And so it's always good to have that. But you just try to create that day that that ideal day that I think we wish we had in high school, where you can move around and be more different learning styles, kinesthetic, like all that kind of stuff, listening, seeing. And that's pretty much a typical day. Just pray for good weather and good waves.
Yeah. You guys want to take 5?
Yeah.
It's like
Let's take a break.
During the course of the junior guard season, I know there's a couple great events that you guys put on. Do a quick run us through the top 3 or 4 events that you and the kids and the parents and everyone looks forward to, and just the impact that they have.
Right. So outside of the pier jump, obviously, right? The biggest one there is the Monster Mile.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a event that my former coworker and good friend Greg Roberts created way back when, and it's where the kids run a mile and swim back a mile. I don't know too much on the history of when it first started, the kids dressed up and stuff, but now we're at the point where we put on a huge productions and we have themes. 1 year it was the zombie apocalypse. We actually dug a hole and put the lifeguard truck down kind of a little bit. And we put dry ice in the engine. And
yeah.
At the time, there's this, I'll never forget it. There's Aaron Pearsall. He's Olympian.
Yeah. Backstroke.
Yes. And this guy's all dressed up. And
I know my Olympians, Mike.
I'm impressed.
That's pretty good.
He gets that like squirt gun that you pull and you just push, and there's like red blood.
Oh, nice.
And the
nice.
kids are like, oh, it's all slow mo. It was amazing. And so there's a theme to it. And it's just to get the kids pumped up. They dress up. We do a little parade so everybody can see their costumes. And the instructors, we get there at like 5 o'clock in the morning to set all this up. We do the parade for an hour. Everybody sees the costumes. And then at about 11 o'clock, they start lining up at Balboa Pier. And we start with the A's and go all the way down to the D's, set them off about 3 minutes apart. They run down 10th Street, get in, swim all the way back, exit. And it's just a big accomplishment. And we do it in, I believe, week 6 of the program. Kids got to work up to it. They got to feel good. We got to feel comfortable. We have to okay them to do the swim as well. And some parents get upset because their kid hadn't done any swim. So we tell them, hey, if you're not swimming, we can't.
Right.
And so that's another story we don't need to talk about. But it can get pretty dark.
The old parent involvement.
Yeah, which is great. We need them, but it's like, this isn't about you, And so that is one of the biggest events we have.
But I think that's so cool. Like I can tell you, my kids, again, struggling to swim 100 yards at a tryout in April or May, at the end of July, end up doing that event. It's crazy.
Right.
And crazy.
And the cool thing is, like, the kids that swim water polo, they're going to do that and they're going to kill it and they're competing. And I love that. Like, I don't want that to end, but I'm even more excited about the kids that, like, I'm doing this, especially the D's, because, like, there's a time where we have to cut it off,
right.
Hypothermia. We've actually had kids in sand with blankets, and it's gotten pretty gnarly a couple times, to be honest with you. But to see them finish and their parents, it's
cool.
Awesome.
It's such a great accomplishment. Awesome. I feel like
running a mile and swimming a mile back.
That's legit.
That's heavy, So that's one of the big ones. The other one is, and this, my friend of mine, Ben Carlson, was a lifeguard buddy of mine. Him and I both became group leaders at the same time. We'd always give each other hard time and joke around with each other. He passed away on duty. He drowned during a rescue, and so we have Ben Day, which will happen here in a couple of weeks. And so Ben was really big on as the A group leader. And one of the big events he would do is the pier swim, wedge, and then pier again. So it's the pier, wedge, pier.
Wow.
And so that's another big event. Now the A's are the only ones that get to do that, and then the other ones, the other divisions, the B's, C's, and D's want to work up to it. The B's always want to do it. We can do it. It's like, no, it's an A thing.
Yeah.
If you and that's also incentive. We want you back because that's the age where high school sports start kicking in and their summers are no longer available. And so that's another reason that we kind of push it there as well. And so those are the two main ones. But the other one, I probably, it's the pier jump or
yeah. And I think what another cool event is like, is like family night. I feel like that's
in the park.
Right. Picnic in the park.
Call.
I feel like that's all the families come. Jeff will get a band to come and play. And I feel like, again, that's just a cool, right. It's a cool come, hang, check it out.
Yes. That's more or less a physical event. That's where my mind was. But you're right. They show up for, it used to be called the hot dog dinner. We'd actually cook over like 3,000 hot dogs. It's so gross, you guys. It was the trailer at the time would smell like hot dogs the rest of the summer.
Wow.
There'd be instructors eating hot dogs every day the rest of the summer. It was pretty amazing. But the whole point of it was meet and greet. And so when COVID happened, I kind of got rid of that. And then I said, we got to do something different. Let's do picnic in the park and let's get this live band. And we got Night Rider. We've had it.
I know, insane, dude. An 80s throwback band.
Yeah.
I mean, so cool.
So it's a lot of fun, and everybody sits down, enjoys music, talks to each other. They bring their own food. And then in the back, we have easy ups, and there's certain times where you go meet your instructor, and it's perfect. It works out great. It's far enough from the music where they can have that conversation and get to know their kid and the family. And so those are the main things that come up for sure.
And who should consider the Junior Lifeguard program?
Deep down, I want to say everybody.
Yeah.
You know, but it really comes down to the fact that if you are ever going to go down to the beach, you want to like respect the ocean, understand the ocean, and know where to go when it's safe. Know your limitations, ocean awareness, ocean safety. This program's for you, 100%.
Yeah, and I think being an instructor, it's got to be so cool seeing these kids on day one versus the last day of the program.
100%.
Like, that's got to be amazing.
Yeah. The first day you're looking at each other, and it's that awkward stare. Like my daughter came back yesterday. It was kind of awkward. We're just kind of just staring at each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's because you don't know each other.
Right.
And by the end of it, it's talking. It's and some kids get, super sad about it. I can't believe it's over. I wish we could go for another week. And part of that could be because school's right around the corner. Right. But even instructors, oh my God, I'm going to miss this group. This is my favorite group. I can't believe it. And then next summer, it's the same thing. Oh, I thought last year was you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So that's the big thing is it's weird at first. You're getting to know the kids. They're getting to know you. We're getting to know what you're capable of doing, what you're not. And just that's when we get to start each week pushing you a little bit further than where you were the week before.
Well, I thought it was really cool. So Jeff had mentioned we had a group, like our, friend group all joined at the same time. And Jeff's like, you know what, I'm going to put everybody in a different group just for that reason. So they meet new kids. Right. And it was amazing. Like my daughters have met 2 or 3 girls that they still keep in contact with.
Right.
2 years later, right? And so I feel like it was so cool. Like, yeah, you're getting out of your comfort zone. You do feel that a little bit. I don't know anybody, but they had a great time.
We get that a lot. My kid doesn't know anyone. I'm like, it's day 2. Give it at least give me the 2 weeks, first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then rarely does it become an issue still after that because they get to meet new people. And I remember your girls. They were a little nervous. They're not going to be together, but they each individually.
Oh, they thrived. It was
group.
So good. I mean, it was so good. Was
the best thing for them at
100%.
that time. It's a great life experience to go forward with.
Yeah.
I got one selfish question. So I always think like, what are the questions I would ask an expert in a certain field, right? So he's a lifeguard. He's in the sun all day and he's not burnt to a crisp. So I just got to lean in on the, like, what's the sunscreen regimen?
Okay. So a lot of my coworkers will have a field day laughing right now.
Oh,
okay. So I'm stuck in the building a lot.
Okay.
Helping out right now.
Sure.
It is my
He's
first
a suit, Mike.
So my first summer down there, let me give you the history here. So my first summer out, I didn't reapply sunscreen as often as I should have. I came down with probably the worst burn I've ever had in my entire life. Horrible. People still make fun of me for this. So the first week I had to say it would hurt getting in the water, everything. I wore this big rash guard and everything. Brad's not getting in the water. So it's been with me ever since for the last 24 years. Even today, a buddy of mine's like, you get in the water? Oh no, you're not getting in the water today. That's right.
Oh,
and
gosh.
So I still have my farmer's tan that's strong, but this next week I'll be able to get out more and be with the kids.
Yeah.
But we have instructors that are just charred right now. And it's like, you are setting such a bad example for the kids. You're redder than a lobster.
Right.
So it does happen. Sunscreen's important.
What is your favorite sunscreen that you feel works the best?
So with the way things are coming out now, I don't know if you guys, there's a article that came out soon that recently that said that they don't think the sun actually maybe causes skin cancer, that the UV rays are actually healthy for you and all this stuff. And, I don't know. Again, that's all I'm reading, but they're also concerned with what certain sunscreens having chemicals on them, and your skin's the biggest organ on your body and it absorbs everything. And so my whole thing now is, gone from typical sunscreen to more of like a mineral sunscreen, And so we just bought new ones for the kids and for myself, and like zinc's really good, right? Because it's not going to absorb.
Zinc's amazing. I love zinc on every level.
But I believe this is called Vertra that they have, and so they do. There's lots of companies that do it, And they actually give us discount lifeguards if you want to buy it on your own. But otherwise, Sunbum, some bums.
But
yeah,
I would throw that sucker on, and I feel like I would get nothing.
Right.
And again, it would be like more like nose and like just kind of face.
Yes, my nose, lips, always ears, top of ears. You got to cover those. But Vertra is the one we use that we're going to use this year, and we're going to go to the mineral and zinc only.
Yeah, see how that works.
And is there like an SPF associated with that?
30 or higher.
30 or higher.
Yes, you want 30 or higher. But it's interesting to see what they're coming out now that as far as the benefit and type of sunscreen, and like, is it okay to go out for a little bit to get a little bit of a base and then put it on afterwards? It's just, you do your own research on that.
Okay. And then reapply intervals.
So it depends on the sunscreen. Obviously, anytime you dry off with a towel, get fully dry, and before you go back out, reapply. Because the towel's taken off. If you're active in the water for about, I would say 60 to 80 minutes, then afterwards dry off, put it on, and then you want to wait a little bit, because if you put it on, jump in the water, it's
washed off.
So I would say,
bye-bye.
Yes, I tell my kids, like, wait 10 minutes, let your body absorb it a little bit, so that way when you get out there, it doesn't just come right off.
Okay.
And what do you feel about eating a big meal and going right in the water?
When I was young, can't believe you asked me.
Anyway, let me ask that.
Okay,
so Jeff, I probably the whole reason I wanted you on the podcast was to ask you this question. Because our mothers always said, you got to wait 30 minutes. Is there any validity to that statement?
We have this. They just told me today. It was pretty funny. They said something about they're doing a dare, and it's to eat a chili hamburger with chili fries and this cake shake.
Oh, the cake shake.
Cake shake. And have that, and then you're going to be the rabbit for the event. And they just want to see what's going to happen. And it's a dare, and there's money involved.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see if this actually goes through. But I don't know if there's much validity to that, to be honest with you.
Right. All right. So this is our pick'em section, my favorite part of the podcast. So we're going to throw a bunch of questions at you, and you just it's like a quick hitting segment.
Do it.
Early morning or late afternoon at the beach?
Early morning. Less people on the beach, and there's just a peacefulness out there.
100%
on the boardwalk or the water.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things when I lived down at the beach for about half a year, that's all I could stand. I needed to get out of there. Was waking up, walking down at 5 o'clock in the morning, walking down Seaside Donuts, getting whatever came to mind, and just walking back and just enjoying the breeze and the silence.
Yeah, there is something
amazing.
Really cool about that.
It's really amazing.
Beach run or buoy swim?
Buoy swim. The only thing I like to run is late. That's it.
I mean, there was zero hesitation
we are
there.
Not running. I hate it.
Yeah.
The Pratt's, we hate running.
North side or south side of the pier?
South side. You'll get a good south.
Right,
a good left.
For sure.
But as you go past the pier, it is a true south-facing beach.
Right.
That's why the point is amazing,
Yeah, the point is the worst beating I've ever taken. It was the only time ever being in the water where I was legitimately scared.
Right.
Huge 6 to 8 foot day. You know how it sucks out, right? Because it's shallow. I mean, Mike, the point is this amazingly hollow wave. It pitches huge. I got caught just in the wrong place, and it really did pin me down.
We had during Hurricane Marie, which is one of the biggest storms we've had in a while. But Machado and them showed up at the point. They were like, "Where's this point? Where's the point?" And shows up, and he says, "This looks like a pipeline." It was 25-foot faces. It was heavy.
No, legit.
Beautiful.
Yep. And it peels both ways. I mean, you can go left or right. When it's breaking perfect, it is a left and a right. So
the left's better, for sure.
Yeah, the left's way better.
For sure.
I'm a goofy footer, so that's kind of always been my,
Right.
All right, here we go. Lifeguard tower duty or truck?
Truck, 100%.
Again, kind of like just being in the tower.
I got to move. Like I said, after 2 years of sitting in the tower, and then even the trucks got better because you're up and down the beach. You're seeing something different. Unless it's busy, that tower is brutal.
Okay, so let's do this. Truck or boat?
I still got to go truck, personally.
Can the boat be a little like you're just kind of out there? And
It's cool. I haven't had, I'll be honest with you, I think I've never had an actual assigned shift on there. I remember taking somebody's shift and then switching for a little bit, but you're just sitting there rocking. You get that west wind, it's over. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's brutal. You're just what are you going to do?
So
but they're boat guys, boat.
Right. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Every time.
So what would you rather do? Ocean swim alone or 100 of your junior lifeguards out with you swimming?
I'm going to go junior guards. It's a lot more fun. You're having a good time. I've done ocean swims. It's not.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
out there. puttering around.
Off
I'll
to
tell you,
another.
one of my favorite memories with my buddy Spetza, and Autumn's going to appreciate this story because we say it was the best day of our lives. It was right after Labor Day weekend. So this is when school started after Labor Day weekend, not like in August it does now. And there's a lingering south swell, and we had an offshore wind, and there was only 3 of us out there, and it was amazing. We started, we spent like 3 hours out there, no problem, just cruising, walking back in, going down. Nobody's there, and the face just held forever because that wind was pushing it up.
What Jeff just said, that is my favorite time of the year to be in the water, is early autumn in SoCal when you get these offshore breezes, right? These Santa Ana winds, we get a little bit, and you're right. If we get a good swell, it just holds those waves up, and you know it's not summer. You can feel the change, right? And you're right, it's not as crowded, and just it's some of the best days we've ever had.
You just dip out the back,
yeah,
and then that back spray comes and hits you.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
I love it. Love it.
All right, so wrapping up, Jeff Pratt, why should everybody do the Junior Guards program?
Well, first of all, it's got a history there, right? So obviously, if you were already a part of it in the past, to have your kids go through that rite of passage is super important, right? Because you're carrying on the tradition, you're carrying on the ocean safety awareness, to get your kids involved and grow up with that knowledge. And not only that, seeing certain things in front of you that are difficult and going up against them and tackling those things and accomplishing those things, those are life lessons that carry on forever. It's just such a great experience. Kids get to know each other, they learn how to communicate, they learn how to take direction and really push themselves. And it's just that opportunity to be a part of a community that maybe you don't live in, but can become a home away from home. And that's why I tell people, get involved.
Jeff, what are some of the biggest lessons that your Junior Lifeguard participants come out of the program with?
The biggest lesson is conquering those fears. And I know we touched base on that a little bit earlier, but so much lately, in my opinion, we try to make things a little too easy for our kids, you know, and we don't want them to experience things because we internalize it. It's something that we went through maybe when we were younger, and we don't want them to have to face that. But unfortunately, you can't prevent that. It's going to happen in the world. And so this is a place where they're going to see that. They're going to go in an environment that they're nervous about, they've never even seen maybe, or maybe they took that wave last summer and had a bad, tumble, and they don't want to go after it again. And it's just about understanding that that's how life is. You're going to get hit by that wave, and getting back out there and getting after it and facing that fear is that one key thing in our lives that keeps us moving forward and makes us a better person.
Well, dude, I am so stoked you came in.
Yes.
I feel like the Junior Lifeguard program is such an amazing program. My daughters have gotten huge things out of it. And so I cannot say enough about it. And I think just it's an A++ program. If anybody is thinking about doing this, I highly recommend just finding out more information on it, putting your kids in it. You will not regret it. It is such an amazing program, and we really appreciate your time coming
Absolutely.
in.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate you guys putting, all the families in St. John's and stuff, putting their kids in it, because I got to see them grow up as well, and I got a front row seat to it, and it was something special. So, but thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully people get something from this and make that decision to possibly join any junior guard program, whether it's in Huntington, wherever you live. That's the key thing, is look at your local programs in each beach city and see what they have to offer.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.